Get ready. This is going to be a long podcast. It's been 15 or 20 years ago, back when I was around 40, 45, the Total Information Awareness program was announced, and it was rejected by the public. It got out, and the public rejected it. And they were closing it down. But they didn't close it down. As recent revelations in the NSA operation shows, U.S. citizens are being spied upon. And I have been telling people all throughout that the CorpGov LLC, corporations along with the government, their LLC bullshit union, where they work together. Corporations blame the government blames the corporation blames the banks blame the government blames the Fed, It's all a shell game, people. This is the 0.0001% WWE. It's all fake entertainment for you. It's a distraction. Politics as usual. As I've said time and time again, whether it was the snail mail, the telegraph, the telephone, whatever, it is spy enabled. Capabilities to spy have been built into the system. A certain amount of the telegraph operators were government agents. Now, is this some big secret that is being exposed by me or anyone else who is talking about it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is, as Sherlock Holmes would say, elementary, my dear Watson. Elementary deduction. It just makes sense that if you're ruling over a population, that you send out your own agents to cause trouble, to spy, to collect data. It's just elementary deduction. It's elementary deduction that big billion-dollar corporations are spying on each other, spying on you and me, just doing warfare. It's a battle out there. It's a struggle. You don't stay on top by being timid, not in a dog-eat-dog game that we've chosen to play with our lives. So it's just reasonable to assume that everything you do is being spied upon. Now, in the old days, maybe 100 years ago or 150, 200 years ago, you could go out in the boondocks and do something that the government wouldn't know about. Maybe. I doubt it, but let's assume it's true. And it might be true. But today, in this digital technology age, in the 21st century, where everyone's got a location tracker in their pocket in the form of a smartphone, where we've got satellites in the sky, the Hubble telescope points out away from the Earth and it sees out millions of light years away. They have that same technology pointing back on the Earth to spy on us. When we have satellites pointed out away from the Earth, radio satellites that can hear or send out and hear radio waves from light years away, that same technology is pointed towards the Earth. They can hear anything you're saying at any time. You can go out into the middle of any woods and start talking. At the government court, government LLC can hear every word you're saying. There's not any place on Earth that you can go that you can't be spied upon. If NASA acknowledges that they can control the Mars rover on Mars from the Earth, imagine the technology that they're sending all over the Earth that they can control from anywhere. We have drones that they acknowledge. A person in Oregon is flying a drone in Iraq, killing people. There's cameras on those drones. They can see people. They can access satellite video and audio and photos. There's nowhere to hide. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing something wrong or doing something right. It's the fact that if they choose to target you for any fucking reason, maybe they just don't like the way you look or the way you talk, you could be killed. You could be put in jail, charged with anything. That is our reality. And we can continue to allow it to happen, or we can unite together and become free again. We can do it. You might be wondering, why would someone like myself, and there's just not me, there's hundreds of others, not enough of us, but there are others who are talking about this. Why would someone like myself, an average U.S. citizen, be talking about this? Aren't I afraid? Why aren't I afraid? What can I do? What can I do? Here's where I'm coming from. The founders and the framers of the United States of America, with their Declaration of Independence and later the U.S. Constitution, they stepped out of their comfort zone and their security zone. Back in the day, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and the rest risked their lives to declare independence from tyranny. King George. Thousands and millions of colonial people rose up and joined them in the fight. We are from people who value individual, independent, sovereign human rights. If it weren't for those people willing to stand up in their age for freedom and liberty and justice for all, we would not be free today. And if we are to be free tomorrow, we must take up the mantle of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Otherwise, our forefathers and the colonialists who stood up for the freedom, liberty, and justice, their efforts were in vain. Their efforts were in vain. If you and I cower, conform, and comply with authority and refuse to question authority, they died in vain. Ben Franklin said, when asked, "What have you people in the behind closed doors done?" And Ben Franklin said, "We have given you a republic if you can keep it." If we can keep it. And we can keep it only when you and I are willing, as our forefathers were willing, to step out and choose liberty, freedom, and justice over comfort and security. This is the call. It is always our time, because freedom, liberty, and justice is always in danger of annihilation. It is only when the people are willing to stand for freedom, liberty, and justice that freedom, liberty, and justice will survive. And once it survives, with our support, it can not only survive, it can thrive and flourish. It is up to you and me. I was listening to the Twit Network and Security Now, and there's Steve Gibson. He's supposed to be a security expert. And he didn't realize that the government and the corporations, CorpGov LLC, can collect all data that we're generating. Does he not realize what is capable from the CorpGov LLC? They have technology that is at the very least, 100 years ahead of ours. 100 years ahead of the consumer electronic digital technology. It stands to reason. Once again, it's elementary deduction. If I'm in control of you and I have a 6-shooter, I give you a bow and arrow. I don't give you a 6-shooter so you're on equal footing with me. If I give you a 6-shooter, I only give you a 6-shooter when I have an automatic weapon. I only give you an automatic weapon when I have a bomb. I only give you a bomb when I have the atomic bomb. I don't give you the atomic bomb unless I got scalar technology. If I'm in control, I don't give those I'm controlling equal technology where they can fight me on equal terms. That's elementary deduction. It's foolish to think otherwise. It's foolish to think that the only thing that the CorpGov LLC has is a MacBook Air. They've got technology so far advanced than that. They wouldn't give us a MacBook Air if they didn't have more sophisticated digital technology. Whatever you see out here in the consumer digital technology electronic sphere, it's old shit. They're not giving you the up-to-date stuff. You don't give those you're controlling the same equal footing, the same technology you're using. You give them the old technology. And you only give them the technology that's available when you have something more advanced. There's a lot of encryption software out there. The government's not going to let you encrypt something they can't break into, regardless of how advanced your encryption is. The government has hackers that they pay billions of dollars to crack encryption. You're not going to be able to encrypt anything. And let's say that someone does have a technology. How long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? I don't see anybody thinking up a technology of encryption that the government can't break into. Otherwise, I think that person would be picked up, secretly picked up and waterboarded and beaten, and that code wouldn't be unbreakable for very long. It's just elementary deduction, because the people, not the politicians, though politicians are puppets, the people who really control the population on this earth, they're cold-blooded motherfuckers. Cold-blooded motherfuckers. They kill their own children. The God they gave you kills his own son. Here, in order before I can forgive you, you got to kill my son. So even the God they give you is a cold motherfucker. He flooded the earth. Not only did he kill the guilty, he killed the men, the women, the children, the babies, the pregnant women, the fetuses, the turtle, the worm, the grass, the trees. He flooded the whole fucking world and killed everything on the world, on the earth. Cold motherfucker. And their God that they gave you is a cold motherfucker, because they're a cold motherfucker. They'll kill their own spouse, kill their own children, and they won't hesitate to kill you. It's politics as usual, because the population on the earth have given up their freedom, liberty, and justice for all. It's only when they can get us separately that they can defeat us. Because if we're united, they cannot defeat us. If we don't get united soon, even if we get together united, it'll be too late. Right now is the only window we have to unite together and to defeat them in their world domination, their fascist new world order. And we have a limited window. By 2052 CE, it's all going to be over with. They'll finally have all the technology, the digital technology, in place. And they're going to start eliminating us all. So we have a limited window. And by 2030 is when the crackdown begins. So we have really just till 2030 to do this. For mostly after 2030 CE, it's really just, it'll take so much effort by then, I think it would be nearly impossible. If we don't do it now, if we don't do it before 2030, and it's definitely over in 2052 CE, if we don't do it now, we're not going to be able to do it. It's over. It's over for all of us. So when you think about, well, let somebody else do it, you're not going to avoid this. You're not going to avoid being killed. I could call it extermination. I could call it a Holocaust. But the fact of the matter is you're going to be killed. You and yours. Their Bible, which they don't believe in, by the way, the 0.0001% don't have a God. They know there is no God. God is for you. God is a means of control. Religion is a means of control over the rest of us. But in their Bible, the one truth they have is that 144,000 is all that's going to be surviving, and it's 144,000 blood related of the 0.0001%. Now, all the newscasters, all the politicians, all the scientists, all the doctors, all the lawyers, all the professionals who they use to control us have been told they're going to survive, but they're not. That's a good message to get out to these professionals because they think they're going to survive. They've been told by the 0.0001% that they're going to survive, but they're not. Only 144,000 blood-related of these cold-blooded son of a bitches are going to survive. And believe me, after the 144,000 is left, there's going to be 13, a council of 13. And if you step out of line as one of the 144,000, you'll be killed too. They're cold-blooded son of a bitches. And they expect total obedience, no questioning. So a council of 13 will rule over the rest of the 144,000. Of course, as the 144,000 of men and women and children go on with their lives, they will, of course, produce more offspring, and then there'll come along some more population. But they have a certain number of people that they're going to allow into and onto the earth. It's something in the order of maybe 250,000, and then no more children to be born until the 250,000 are some of them die off, and they need 100,000 people, so they'll allow you to have children again. Of course, most likely by then, the technology of singularity, where we put our consciousness into replicants, will be on hand, and we won't even need to have this carbon-based death chamber called the human body. Human body, there's religions that call the human body and life a miracle and the miracle of creation, but pretty shitty. It's not they call it an intelligent design, but how fucking intelligent is it to put such intelligence as a human being inside a decaying, rotten body that only lasts for maybe 100 years or less? So they're going to put the human brain inside a robotic digital technology replicant that is not carbon-based. It will last forever. The replicant body will last forever. Let's take a break. The controllers of this earth know that you only have a limited window to stay free and to stay alive. So what have they done? They have allowed someone to leak the information that you and I are under total information, awareness, surveillance. Everything you say and do, whether you're online, offline, if you're living on this planet, they can spy on you. They have the data. They have your data. All your base belong to us, is what they say. They own you. You're their animal. You're their beast of burden. They own you. You're being farmed and ranched. You are under their control, and they can get the data that you have generated, whether you're online or offline. I don't have to be recording this and put this online. Their satellites can hear me and are recording me. They have the technology to record everything. Wake up, wise up. It's elementary deduction. Elementary deduction, my dear Watson. And they want you to know now, through this leak about the NSA, that they're spying on all your communication. Now, that maybe some people just think that it's digital technology, that they're spying on all the communication of digital technology. No, online or offline, they're watching you. Who knows how many government employees are actually government agents? Who knows whose mail person is a government agent? Who knows which policeman is a government agent? Who knows which fireman is a government agent? Who knows which clerk in the clerk's office of your local government is a federal government agent? Who knows who is the spy? It's total warfare on you and me. And we're ignoring it. They want you to know now that they are spying on you. Total information awareness technology. Why? Why do they want you to know this? They want you to be afraid to get together and discuss such matters with your neighbors, your friends, your loved ones, your co-workers. Be afraid, because they know that if they can get to 2030 CE, they can make it to their agenda of total annihilation of all human beings on this planet. If they can get to 2052 CE, it's a lock-in. There's no turning back. You have a limited amount of time to get together and make a new world order of social justice and respect. A limited amount of time. So they want you to fear talking about it. They want you to fear telling others about it. Fear. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's a FUD. It's a FUD operation. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You don't know who's the spy. You're uncertain and you fear it. You don't know what is being recorded and what is not being recorded, or what is being listened to and what is not being listened to. Because they have, not only are they recording every fucking piece of data that you generate, written, spoken, video, audio, written down on a piece of paper. Not only are they collecting that data, but they have algorithms that can access that data. You think, well, there's so much data collected and so much data generated that they can't possibly find my little slip up. They can go through your data, the data of everybody on the earth, and find what they need. They had the algorithms. They had the technology, They are Borg. They are cold-blooded, heartless people. Cold-blooded killers. They'd kill their own mother, father, sister, or brother. Jesus, the hero that they gave you, the Son of God that they gave you, said, "Think not that I have come to bring peace on earth. I have come to set father against son, daughter against mother, mother against father, sister against brother, brother against sister." He's a motherfucking government secret agent, this Jesus was. If he existed at all. But even if he's just a myth, he's a government secret agent. Sent to replace the man that probably was called, or is called in the Bible, John the Baptist. John the Baptist was the real Savior, was the real Messiah, was the real deal. And like Martin Luther King, who was assassinated because he was the real deal, so was John the Baptist. They collected his head and put it on a platter, and along came Jesus as his replacement. Well, wasn't that just a wonderful coincidence that they got rid of John the Baptist just in time to make Jesus the Son of God? Well, wasn't that lucky? So even in their mythical tales, they're telling you, we got your ass. We got your ass. Through the technology, through the politics, through the religion, through the superstition, through the entertainment, through the sports, through the media. It's all covered. It's all under control. Don't worry, everything's under control. Unquestionable authority. That is your situation. And you have a limited time to join with others. And as I've said, and I'll say again, and I said in this podcast earlier, those who gave us our republic risked their lives, their families' lives, their future. And they didn't know who you were. 1776, they didn't know you and I were going to be born. They didn't know you and me. But they knew their children, and they knew that they wanted to protect their children's children. And I don't know how far out they looked. They looked far enough out into the future to know that fighting and standing up and protecting freedom, liberty, and justice was worth the risk of their life. They risked their lives for us and for themselves because they knew if they succeeded, they too would be free. So if you don't believe that risking your life to be free and to risk your life to keep your children and your children's children and maybe 1,000 years into the future, those people free, then it's over with. Because certainly the controllers are going to risk everything for their agenda. Their agenda includes the elimination of everybody on the earth except the group that they have selected themselves. The Council of 13 have selected themselves and a number of 144,000. So if you're not going to be as dedicated to keeping you free and keeping you alive as they are dedicated to keeping you in slavery and to kill you, then it's over. Enjoy your sports, enjoy your movies, enjoy your music, enjoy your infotainment life. I return you now to the banality of everyday life in the spectacle.